Hello and welcome to the tech showcase for how to auto-tune a field-oriented control system for a permanent magnet synchronous machine. My name is Aaron Zimmerman and I'm a controls tool developer in the Control Design and Identification group here at the MathWorks. In this demonstration I'm going to give you an overview of the simulation model we'll be working with. We're going to set up the model for tuning and verification of our tuned gains. We're going to add the field-oriented control auto-tuner block into the model. We're then going to set up that block. And finally we're going to run the simulation to view the results. We're now going to go straight to the model. You see we have the plant in this subsystem. We have the controllers in this subsystem here. We have the system inputs. And we have the outputs. If we go inside of the controller subsystem, you can see we have the velocity control up here and the current controllers for DNQ down here. The velocity controller runs at 1 kHz while the current controllers run at 250 kHz. If we open up the velocity PI controller, you can see its controller type is PI, its form is parallel, and its integrator method is set to forward Euler. These three settings will be important to us as we'll need to match these in the field-oriented controller block later on in this demonstration. You'll also see that the controller parameter source is set to internal, and its gains are obtained via workspace variables here. These same settings apply for both the DNQ axis as well. So what we want to do is we want to add the field-oriented controller block to the simulation. We want to route the signals. We want to configure the 3 PI controllers so that their gains can be changed in real time. And we want to have a way to compare the baseline gains to the tuned gains. Unfortunately, doing all that is going to take a little too long for this demonstration, so we're going to move to a different model that already has most of those things set up for us. So back in here, we'll start with the system input subsystem and into the signal builder. You'll see here, we first get the system from 0 to its steady state operating point of 150 radians per second. We then perform a transient, and that transient is complete at 1.1 seconds. We then let the system stay at steady state for a while. We then repeat the transient. During the steady state, we will be performing experiments and tuning our gains for our 3 controllers, and then we'll be repeating the transient that we did at the beginning of the simulation so that we can compare the tuned gains to the baseline gains. If we then go into the controller algorithm subsystem that we viewed previously, you can see a lot has changed. For one, the PI controllers all have their gains coming from an external source here. These data store memory blocks will be updated, and I'll show you how to do that a little while later in this demonstration. We also have the field-oriented control auto-tuning subsystem that was added that we're going to go into now. So inside of here you can see it's mostly blank, so we need to add the field-oriented control auto-tuner block to it. We're then going to configure this block for our system. So if we open up the block dialog, you can see there are 4 axes, but this is a permanent magnet machine, so there is no flex controller, so we can disable that. Next, we're going to check this checkbox to use the same settings for DNQ axis, since we will be using the same settings. Then we will configure our DNQ axis. As mentioned previously, the controller type is PI, form parallel, and integrator method is forward Euler, so those do not need to change. As mentioned previously, the current controllers run at 250 kHz, so we'll change that setting here. For this demonstration, we'll be using 5,000 radians per second for the bandwidth, and 70 degrees for the phase margin that we want to meet. Next for speed, again the type is PI, parallel form, and forward Euler for the integrator method. The controller sample time for the velocity controller is 1 kHz, and we'll be using 100 radians per second for the target bandwidth, and 90 degrees for the target phase margin. Next we'll configure the experiment tab. If you recall, the transient was complete at 1.1 seconds, and we'll allow the system to get to steady state, so we'll start the D-axis tuning at 1.3 seconds. We will then run the experiment for 50 milliseconds, allow the transients to die out, and then we will tune the Q loop, again for 50 milliseconds, and finally the speed loop will start at 1.5 seconds, and run the experiment for 2 seconds. Lastly, we need to configure the experiment settings. For the current loops, they are stable, they have a positive sign, so those settings do not need to change. And for this demonstration, we will be using perturbation signals with sine amplitudes of 0.25. Finally, the speed loop. Again, the plant for the speed is stable, it has positive sign, and we'll be using 0.01 for the perturbation signals for the speed loop. Lastly, on this block tab, we need a way to update our gains in real time, So we're going to output the start and stop signals that we configured on the experiment tab, so we have a way to do that. And lastly, the entire controller algorithm subsystem has its data type as single, so we want to match that here. And we can click apply and OK. You'll see that the flux signals have disappeared, and we have a new out port for loop start and stops. We're then going to connect the block to our imports and outports. Next, we're going to add a terminator block, since we do not need the convergence signal in this demonstration. And finally, we will connect the loop start and stops and the PID gains to this subsystem here. We'll go inside of this subsystem now. You'll see the start-stop signals come in. They start at 0, go to 1 when the experiment starts, and back to 0 when the experiment ends, at which point the PID gains are calculated. The gains will be input here and into these subsystems here. We want to ensure that these gains are updated before we trigger the update of the data store memory blocks in here, so we're going to delay the start-stop signals by a single sample. And you'll see here, the gains are updated. We now have a way to update our gains in real time. We have our field-oriented controller block in the model and configured, and our PI controllers are set to allow their gains to be updated while the simulation is running. Next, we'll run the simulation and view the results. However, the simulation takes a long time to run, so instead we're going to open up some results from a previously run simulation. You see here, we have the velocity command in blue, the velocity feedback in orange, the D-axis current feedback in blue, and the Q-axis current feedback in orange. If we zoom in on the initial transient, which was done with the baseline gains, you'll see a large amount of overshoot with a large settling time. And if we compare that to what the same transient looks like with our auto-tuned gains, you'll see a reduced overshoot and reduced settling time. Thus, we're able to improve the performance using the field-oriented control auto-tuner block.